Motivation, the magic that gets us up at 7 a.m. to go to the skate park. The elusive desire that inspires us to practice even when it's hard. The feel-good quote that we write down on a sticky note and slap to the mirror to remind us that we are going to be awesome skaters.
We can do anything, be anyone, and crush it every day because we're motivated. Yeah, I don't really subscribe to that. And I can explain why by first reframing where motivation comes from and then offering a few ways that you can become and stay motivated.
Motivation isn't the spark. Motivation is the fire that burns after you manually, painfully coax it into existence. It feeds on the satisfaction of seeing yourself make progress.
Because we don't just wake up every day with our motivation mojo turned on full blast, unless that's what you call coffee. In his book, Jeff lays out some really interesting arguments about how society might have been looking at motivation wrong, thinking that motivation turns into action instead of the other way around. Jeff argues that the circle of motivation starts with action. Basically, we do an action, and if we experience some success, then we feel motivated. And because we feel motivated, we want to do the action again, which leads to more success, which makes us more motivated, so on and so on. And I have definitely experienced this while learning how to skateboard.
2 years ago, I started to learn freestyle, and it was fun from the very beginning. Because even on day one, you can experience success. And every trick and skill I learned after that day only motivated me further into the rabbit hole that is skateboarding. I am more motivated now than ever to continue skateboarding. Because once you start to taste some of that success, it can be very addictive. Which contrasts starkly to my experience as a kid where I had zero success, having never even landed a shove-it in 5 years. So it's not surprising that I ended up quitting.
In short, motivation doesn't exist before you put in the hard work, and for skaters, this puts us in a rather difficult spot.
Unfortunately, it's rare that one feels motivated to do something difficult. That's why most of us click on the secret to ollies or kickflip hacks, because we want an easy fix to something that's difficult. But there is no such thing as easy in skateboarding. Simple, for sure, but easy, no. And feeling motivated to skate is especially difficult after previous failure. That's why the more we practice and fail at one trick, the more and more a lot of us lose motivation to continue.
But I think there are a few things that we can do to set ourselves up for success, even when things are difficult.
1. Tailor your social media page. Unfollow anyone who makes you feel bad about skateboarding or inferior. Anyone who you look at and think, man, I'm just not as good as they are. What am I doing? Maybe I should quit. And that includes unfollowing me if you have to. Create a scroll that makes you feel good and engaged with skateboarding. 2. Reduce the friction between you and your skate sessions. Think about the excuses you make to not go out that you have control over. For example, if I want to skate in the morning, I set up everything the night before. I pick out and put out my clothes and pack a little camera bag in advance. Because if I sleep in even 5 minutes, I will make the excuse that I'll be late and the park will be crowded. But if I can leave the house in 5 minutes, grab my skateboard at the door and leave, I've reduced the opportunity for my mind to make excuses. 3. Reframe skateboarding as a 5-year process. We are often much too worried about what we can do in a month or a year and don't think about the long term. It might seem like you didn't learn that much in a month, but when you look back 5 years from now, you'll be amazed at how far you've come. So skate for the you in 5 years. 5 years is plenty of time for all of those little micro progressions to actually add up and give you a solid foundation and beyond for skateboarding. Because the truth is, we are much too often comparing ourselves to the outliers, skaters who progress ridiculously quickly, or to seasoned skaters who have already put in 5 to 10 to 15 or 20 years of consistent skateboarding. I never feel good about comparing my skateboarding to last week or last month because there's so little progress that can be seen in that time. But when I look back a year or 2 years from today, it's amazing just how much better I am skateboarding today than I was 2 years ago. 4. Focus on the process and not the goal. I can't control whether I successfully land an ollie tomorrow. What I can do is dedicate 10 minutes of practice 3 times a week to the ollie, and I believe that I'll get it. I can control the process. I want to spend 30 minutes on my board. I want to try shove-its. This allows me to feel satisfied with the session because it's completely within my control to skate for 30 minutes or to attempt a few shove-its. But I don't have to land them. I don't have to attach my success to landing the tricks. I can attach my success to going out and enjoying the session. And committing to that kind of consistent practice can only result in success. And it's that success that has been incredibly motivating for me. 5. Similarly, inspired by another book, The Gap and the Gain by Dan Sullivan. I try to measure my progress and success based on how far I have come, not how far I have to go. I've been working on the backside 180 for a year and a half now, and I have never landed a clean one and rolled away, but the gap is unimportant. I am so stoked that I can sometimes get an almost full rotation since I couldn't even get half of a rotation for an entire year. So that is my main focus. A little bit better than before, but the gap doesn't matter, the gain does. 6. When you feel stuck and unmotivated to skate, consider exploring a new style of skating or a new set of tricks. Getting hyper-focused on a few tricks can suck the fun and motivation right out of skateboarding. So experimenting with transition or freestyle instead of street might be a fun break. And try to interpret street skating in a different way, almost like cruising. You'll get more dopamine hits as you learn new skills, and the time spent on the board will only increase your board control and make learning the same street tricks that you're struggling with easier. 7. Look for community. If you can, finding or building a small community in person or online can make all the difference. Sometimes just skating with others inspires you to try new things. It's like walking up to the skate park with a plus 10 motivation and plus 20 bravery just because you're there with your community. Community can have a huge impact in your motivation, as you can feel supported, inspired, and encouraged by the group of skaters that you're with.
The bottom line is that our brains are a complex reward system. But I feel good, I do it again. I don't feel good, I don't do it again. It is truly that simple at its core. Now, what makes people feel good can vary, because there are definitely people who truly enjoy that struggle. But they are getting something out of it, otherwise they would probably stop. So let's make it easy and set ourselves up for success. Hey, what's up? Hello. So let's make it easy and set ourselves up for success, whatever that might be. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video.